Hi, I'm Alina from Lakeside Nissan at Paraka. We're celebrating 33 years of being a South Australian family-owned business and 10 years in Paraka. We offer the full range of new Nissan vehicles, a great selection of RAA-approved pre-owned vehicles, spare parts, a comfortable lounge area with free coffee, and express servicing every hour for your convenience. And ask our staff about our loyalty servicing program, which will save you money. We wanted to say thanks to South Australia for your support over the last 10 years. And if you haven't met us, come down and enjoy the difference at Lakeside Nissan.
Thanks for staying with us. Time to turn our attention to hockey now. A couple of very special guests in the studio. I'm not talking about Rob Popplestone sitting immediately next to me. Sarah Harrison, the captain of the Port Adelaide Hockey Club, and Hugh Purvis, of course, the high performance manager. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'd like to start with you first, Hugh, because you're nearly a veteran now of coming into the studio. Mate, focused on women's hockey, 9 clubs in the Premier League. Last year, Port Adelaide Burnside in the final. A chance for Port Adelaide to three-peat, which we know in any sport's a tough assignment. Finally got over the top of Burnside, but it wasn't easy.
No, I mean, Port Adelaide have been an absolute standout team in the women's comp for a number of years, and 3 three-peats, which is the first in history in South Australian hockey. And fantastic final last year, Burnside v Port. Port obviously been around the block and been in the final 10 times in the last 10 years. Or I believe that's right anyway. Port almost near perfect record with 1 draw in the season, the rest wins. So fantastic team, almost nearing impossible to beat at the moment. Not sure when the last time we lost a game was, but 1-1 draw, and which is extremely great effort by Burnside, and I think you got them over in golden time.
After that sort of rave, though, there's no chance you're going to win. There's no chance. I mean, usually that's the case, and when you pump a side up and pump a side up, they inevitably fall over, Smiley.
Well, they don't. Let's ask the captain. Let's ask the captain, because they didn't. They actually won, and it wasn't a golden shootout. Sarah, you've been with the club for 14 years playing Premier League. In that time, you've played in every grand final. You've won 10, lost 4.
Yep.
The one last year, did it have a feel towards the end of the game that this mightn't go the way that it's supposed to?
Yeah, last year was pretty unbelievable. As you said, I've won 10 flags so far in my 14 years in Premier League. But
must be hard for you, only 10.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty intense. But yeah, last year's DF, I think towards the end of the game, you got a sense from the crowd, supporters, that perhaps last year wasn't going to be our year, and perhaps Burnside got on top of us. But then we just never gave up with our typical Port Adelaide never die attitude, and I think that's what kept us in the game. I think it was the last minute, so within 60 seconds towards the end, we got a short corner goal and then produced it to go into extra time.
All right, the club itself's 80 years last year, 81 of course this year. A magnificent tradition down there at Port Adelaide. Why?
I think when you say anything Port Adelaide, automatically people think of tradition, black and white, always hard at the ball, whether it be footy or hockey. But being a Crow supporter myself, when I first went down to Port Adelaide, I thought, how am I going to don this black and white strip? But looking back now, I wouldn't change a thing. I love the club, its history. So it started in 1934. We had a men's team, and then the women's team came in. I think we were called the Port Inlanders back then. But just each year, and even since I've been there, we've just continually improved, not just as players, but as a club, our facilities, our grounds, which definitely holds us in good stead as a club in the Hockey SA competition. We were the first Metro club to get a water-based surface back in 2003, so that's just added to our structure and our facilities that we have down there at Port Adelaide.
Yeah, I remember I worked at the Institute of Sport, and the Australian team came to train when I was there. I mean, walking into our venue to train, and they were watering the ground. I thought, the players are going to be really disappointed with this. What the hell are they watering the ground for? And then I realised after talking to some of the guys that that's what needs to be done. So if people are listening going, well, we've got our first water down there, they're all going, well, what's the big deal about that? It's essential, isn't it?
Definitely. It makes a lot of difference, especially when, final series, or when you play at the I keep calling them Pines, but the State Hockey Centre. When you play out there, that's water-based. So the fact that we were able to get actually a water-based surface meant that we were able to practice at home on water-based and play at the Pines, and wouldn't be too much a difference. Whereas before we had the water-based turf, we had a sand turf. So falling over on that wasn't exactly very nice.
Not
Lose a lot
fun.
of skin.
No, you touched on the juniors before, Hugh. The juniors that are coming up to play in the Premier League, are there some outstanding ones that have caught your eye this season?
Yeah, there are. Again, with the female theme, which I touched on the first week, with Four Hockey Roos, we've got quite a few young athletes coming through Australian ranks. So at the moment, we've got 2 in the under-21s, which is Leah Wellstead, happens to be a Port athlete, and Mickey Spano, who plays at Burnside Hockey Club. So those 2 are kind of on the brink to pushing and trying to make their stake at the senior squad. And coming through under-18s in the future squad, we've got a young goalkeeper from Adelaide Hockey Club, Mimi Blanks. So yeah, there's really good 3 athletes coming through, which is fantastic, and that's on top of the 4 Hockey Roos, which is quite an achievement in itself. So yeah, really bright future for her.
And isn't it amazing whether it's Port Adelaide as a club, when they've got a really solid foundation, it tends to churn over a quality of players and personnel over a long period of time, and once that starts to feed through at state or national level, it also starts to churn over more and more players because the foundation's very solid. In fact, it's a really good indicator that the sport's in the right spot.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I mean, one thing about hockey is quite a few of those athletes come back and give back to the sport because it is essentially a volunteer-based sport. It's fantastic when we are producing these athletes in Port Adelaide with a really strong junior base, coming, giving back and really improving. And I think the success in juniors at Port Adelaide, they're one of the bigger clubs. And it really comes to show the state that when you've got a good junior base and you've got those athletes coming through, that you're going to continually be in top of the ranks.
All right, the under-13 state championships on this long weekend, what can we expect?
Well, hopefully no rain because that's back on grass, which is the grassroots, and it does, occasionally a bit of a mud pit with kids running around all weekend. But it's a fantastic opportunity. We run our under-13 state selection process through that, and it's always exciting because that's our first junior state championships, and you don't know the athletes. It's a whole new bunch of talent, and really first time you get to see them coming from all areas of the state. So it should be a fantastic weekend. I think there's about 12 male teams. And 11 females, I believe. So yeah, it'd be a fantastic weekend. Full on though, 3 days for the parents.
Pretty busy for the parents there.
Yeah.
Sarah, let me ask you this because we have to wrap it up pretty quick. You've been in the police force 8.5 years. That's why Poppy thought he recognised you when you came
Let us speak to you about a speaking point, actually. I'm serious.
Can you draw some parallels between 8.5 years at the police force, you're at the academy now, and the team of hockey? Are there some similarities in the teamwork that goes on between the two?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously with hockey, when you're on the pitch, you've got 10 other teammates around you, and typically with SAPOL, you're also in a team environment. So if you're not a team player, a team sport, nor SAPOL is probably not going to be your best bet. So the team focus, team orientated sport or workplace, they definitely go hand in hand together. Also with hockey, you keep fit, which also is beneficial for SAPOL. Obviously trying to get into SAPOL, you need to be fit. So yes, the team orientated side of SAPOL has definitely helped me out with hockey and being captain, I believe.
All right, you nearly put your money on Port Adelaide to win it again this year. Time for us to go to a break. Coming out, Rachel Spawn, the lady of basketball here in South Australia, will be our guest coming back.
Need to sell your car? Tried the internet and don't want strangers at your house? Give it to us, CarNet Auctions Adelaide, and if we don't sell it for you, we won't charge you a thing. Visit our website caa.com.au and ask for Darren. He will sell your car the easy way, no sale, no charge. CarNet Auctions, Grand Junction Road, Athol Park.